do want to tell you this. You probably know a historic year for women in politics. The 2020 election already shows more Democratic female members of Congress running for a party's presidential nomination than ever before. There is Senator Kamala Harris, who recently announced her entry into the race, and Senators Kirsten Gillibrand and Elizabeth Warren have already formed exploratory committees. Representative Tulsi Gabbard is also in the race, and we've just learned Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez of New York just landed a powerful role on the House Oversight Committee. These are just a few of a new group of powerful women joining the ranks during a very tumultuous time in our country. Joining me now is Lauren Leader, CEO and co-founder of All In Together, a nonpartisan organization that empowers women to participate in America's civic and political life. Welcome to you.
Thanks for having me.
How does this year make you feel thus far? I know a lot going on politically with this shutdown, but in terms of women and their faces being seen.
Well, it's incredibly promising and exciting, and I think it's a extraordinary step forward to have 4 women in the field for running for president. I actually think we might have more. Keep an eye on Nikki Haley. We'll see what happens there, but I have a sense that she may join the race as well. It's so important. I mean, women are 51% of the American population, and we have been drastically underrepresented in every level of government. You know, even with this historic election in 2018 and the huge numbers of women that were elected to Congress, we're still less than 25% women in Congress. And that is in a nation that is over 51% female. And of course, we're behind, 59 other countries that have already had women heads of state.
Really?
The World Economic Forum ranks the United States 98th in the world for women's political equity. So we have a long way to go, despite these gains.
I wasn't aware
of that. It's amazing, 98th in the world.
It really is. I couldn't help but notice, going back to the Kavanaugh hearing, and how everyone, not everyone there, but most, are white, older men. How do you think that we continue the change that we're on? Is it that young girls to women know that it is possible and you can have that kind of desire to be involved in politics?
Well, role models are super powerful, but look, I also think that we have failed in many ways to convince American women that public service is actually a way to make the country better. And, the vast majority of women still say that they would never run for office, that they see the political process as distasteful and not something that they want to be a part of. And that's something we really have to change. I mean, women do turn out to vote. We outvote men and have in every election since 1980. And in fact, black women are the most active, most likely to be registered and show up at the polls of any group of American voters. So we do our civic duty, but we don't tend to step forward to lead, and I think that's what was so powerful about the 2018 election. You saw all these women step forward who, no one asked to run, but who saw an opportunity, who really felt it was up to them to make the country better and step forward. We need many more women to do that, because as I say, even with these historic numbers in this midterm, we're still so far from so many other nations around the world that have achieved much greater gender equity in the political process.
And I hope we keep moving forward on this. Lauren Leader, thank you.
Agreed. Thanks for having me.